Well, hello, hello. We'll see if we get some other people to join. Just watch Beatles eternally on his channel do an afternoon broadcast of Ernie Harwell Broadcast Blast, APBA Baseball for Windows. So that was fun. And I thought what I would do today is take my 5-year file, a 5-year franchise file, and take the 1951 to 55 Dodgers and let them host in an exhibition game the 1954 to 58 Reds. So hopefully, Big Clue will join us or get to see this later, kind of a tribute game for the Reds. What I've done is, since my file's so big, I've just created a blank league and imported two teams. I imported my Brooklyn and Cincinnati team, and what I did is, since on my files, I'll show it this way. Since on my files, they're more of like a master file to be able to build things off of, and they're really large. I am designating the teams by having to abbreviate the name. And in the game, while I was testing out the narrator a little bit, it was having a hard time, pronouncing. It would be like Pittsburgh, Chai, Chi. And so when I brought him in, I wanted to just put clean names because I want to test the narrator out today. So I just set up a blank league. Always have to remember it takes a little while. See, Robbie's joining us. Hey, Robbie. I've got what I've done, Robbie, I was just explaining is instead of playing right from this file, I created just a blank league, and I'm calling it 1950's live games. And I just brought the two teams I wanted to play, and then I went and edited each of these teams just to change their names so that the game. Hey, Curtis, Texagander 5 is here. So I've just gone in and edited the teams that I brought in from my file and made it so they can pronounce Brooklyn and Cincinnati the right way, hopefully. So we'll see. And I believe I've got picture packs. Although it's interesting, I've got a couple pictures that I've done that just won't stick. So I'm going to have to figure out formatting or something for the Reds. But I've got my player packs for these. I've got the park I want to use set up. And I think I've got the narrator set up the way I want to use that. And what I've done is I've downloaded a couple extra narrators. One of them I'm using today is called Microsoft Richard. It's the Canadian English, and I can tell you that there are some instructions on the Action PC forums to go in and add extra narrator voices. And all I can say is if you want to go in there, it involves editing your registry in Windows, and there's a little you can follow them explicitly, which I did to get them to work, and just pay attention to what you're doing. Do so at your own risk, as the article says. But there's Action PC Forum has some great articles on how you can add those, and I've got a couple extra voices here because you have to do some registry editing to make sure that any apps that use them that they're available for the apps. So not only do you download them from Microsoft, but then to make them available for apps and stuff. So we're going to try it out today. I'm going to let the narrator call the play-by-play. The last one I used, I think, was Mark was the name of the narrator, and somebody mentioned it sounded like a 16-year-old boy calling games. So I agreed with that. So I've messed around a little bit in Windows with the pitch um, setting and the speed and all that. The action game allows you to adjust the speed that the narrator speaks. So if you want to adjust any pitch, you need to do that in your own Windows settings, and then either exit out. I usually just restart my computer after I do it, and then those pitch settings will take into effect. Then when you go run games going forward, it's automatically going to take that pitch into account because you can't change the pitch of the voice while in the game. So let's fire this up. Let me double check my rules. Since I've created a blank league, if you ever do this, you need to go in here and make sure you set your league up to play the games the way you want. Um, I've just gone in here. I'm choosing DH because I'm playing with my 5-year file, so I'm going to use DH. Everything else here looks pretty good. Sounds good. Let's just go Martin rules on sack flies. I've also over here under miscellaneous Let's see, we got this all looks good. Everything, I'm going to say no limit. I don't think that's a problem in exhibition game or anything. Just taking a peek here to make sure I've got it all set up right. Sounds good. Quick setup is really nice if you ever want to do something and just hit this. If you're going to do an as played season, you can just hit this and it'll pretty much get the settings, a lot of the settings that you would need for that. So I think I'm good. So let's set up an exhibition game. I'm going to let the Brooklyn team be home. And again, you'll see it showing 1953 Brooklyn because for my 5-year slices, I set the team to the middle of the 5 years. So this is the 51 to 55 Brooklyn team. Their home park is 1953 Ebbets Field. And the players are based off the two best consecutive years and rated that way. And this is a custom homebrew that I've done and I've got available. Cincinnati will be the visiting team. Their year shows 1956 because we're using the 1954 to 58 slice for Cincinnati, and pretty powerful hitting team. So let's pick a date we want to play this. I would say since we're in 1953 in Brooklyn, let's pick a hot summer day, maybe August 1st, a Saturday. I'm going to set it to human and get the lineups the way I want before I turn control of one of these teams over. So let's see what pitchers we've got available here. I think Joe Nuxall's got the most starts. We'll throw him in there. And for, got a couple options. I think we'll go with Carl Erskine for the Dodgers. So now we can go over here and again, we've got different lineups saved here because I've run managers on these teams. So you can see that'll change based on who they're facing. But since Carl Erskine has been moved for me, let's bring him back. Let's load number one versus the right, and you can see there's the they're DHing because it's my file and I get to choose that fun DH, right? They've got Shuba as the DH, but you know, if we come over here and see who's doing good, let's look at it. Batting against left and right and look at like OPS versus right and see that they've got Jackie Robinson sitting on the bench. I don't think so. So we'll get Jackie Robinson in there. And that might free up. Who else we got there? Oh, we got, how about Sandy Amaros right here? Right there. Looks good for now. Then we'll go over and look at the opponent, see what we've got. We'll load a lineup versus righties. Go to their batters. Got Ed Bailey catching. I don't know if I would have him in the 4 spot, that's for sure. But let's move it around a little bit. And it looks good. Let's see here, batting versus right, OPS versus right. This is a nice tool when you go in here to look. Seems like we got a lot of the big hitters. I've got George Crowe here that we could bring in like in the DH. We've got Jerry Lynch who's available. Maybe we'll pinch hit later. In fact, I think George Crowe, since Kozlowski is at first, let's bring George Crowe in as a DH. So now I got the lineup set.
Pitching for Brooklyn, number 17, Carl Erskine. Leading off for Cincinnati, second baseman, number 16, Johnny Temple.
Play ball!
And let me go set some of the preference. It seemed like that narrator volume. See how he does here. So I'm going to go ahead and set the preferences, and I'm going to let the computer control Cincinnati. Let's sit back and see how this narrator does.
Welcome to Ebbets Field. For today's game between Cincinnati and Brooklyn, Joe Nuxall takes the mound for Cincinnati, making his first start of the year. Opposed by Carl Erskine for Brooklyn, also making his first start, It's 78 degrees. Wind speed 4 miles per hour. Temple to face Erskine. 0-2 count. Inside corner. Erskine rings him up. Third baseman, number 12, Don Hoke.
The nice thing is, too, I can add a little bit of color in here, maybe explain for anybody watching that is fairly new to action, but some of the things we can do throughout the game. I may switch to from at bat mode, which is right down here on the bottom, and I can click on that if a runner comes on, and maybe I'll go pitch by pitch mode and show some of that off, and see what else we can do and have fun with.
Hope faces Erskine. Klazuski is on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cutter. Hoke hits a deep fly ball towards center. Snyder drifting back. He's under it. And makes the catch on the track for the out. First baseman, number 18, Ted Klazuski. Now batting, number 18, Ted Klazuski. Robinson is on deck if he reaches safely. 1-1 count. Curveball. Klazuski swings. It's a grounder. To first. Hodges fields it. He'll take it himself. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1/2 inning. Cincinnati 0, Brooklyn coming to bat. Pitching for Cincinnati, number 39, Joe Nux Hall.
I have to
Leading
admit,
off for Brooklyn, shortstop, number 1, Pee Wee Reese.
well, let's talk about some of the settings. Right now, I've got to say, this is the happiest I've been with the narrator voice to this point, right? The Microsoft David that I think is like a default most people have, I don't, for whatever reason, it's just too low and robotic sounding to me. It's a little creepy. So this is, again, Microsoft Richard, the Canadian English. And right now, I like it. It's the best I've heard the narrator and the smooth as it sounded with all the experimenting I've been doing. And again, if we go up to our preferences, I can choose to turn it off here or turn it on, right? I can also choose if we always announce the batters, if we only do it on their first at bat, which I have on here, right? But you can also check over any of this stuff, right? Like play synopsis, inning recap. I've got it on full play-by-play. So anyway, you've got some options here that we can have on here. Let me turn on play synopsis and see what that does. I don't think I've ever tested that out.
Klazuski grounded to first, 3 out. Reese will lead off the inning. 3-0 count. Low and away.
Yep,
He'll take his base. Reese walked. Second baseman, number 42, Jackie Robinson. Robinson to face Nux Hall. Man on first. The 2-0 pitch. Robinson hits a fly ball to left center. Robinson is under it. And catches it. Reese holds up at first. Robinson fly to left center, 1 out. Center fielder, number 4, Duke Snyder.
Yeah, again, I'm kind of liking the sound of this. I still want it to be a more natural voice, and I think, and Robbie's mentioned like Baseball for Windows. I think the fun thing about Beatles putting on some of those day games he does with the APBA Baseball for Windows is great because you can hear like a real broadcaster with Ernie Harwell, right? And to me, I think that's my next goal. How can we get a narrator? How can I find the tweaking settings here to share with people to get it to sound great within the game as is, right? And then my next thing is going to be looking at testing some more on Windows 11, which I don't have on this computer. I have it on another one. To really, the neural voices, which are actually much more lifelike, to be able to get a real listing announcer. But anyway, always tweaking with it.
Nooks Hall fires to first. Reese lunges for the base. Reese is back ahead of the tag.
Hot dog here. Hot dog. Get your hot dog.
Runner on first. 2-0 count. The pitch to Snyder. Snyder hits a ground ball up the middle. Temple dives to his right. Fields it. He underhands to second for 1. To Klazewski at first. Not in time. Snyder grounded to second, forcing Reese at second, 2 out. First baseman, number 14, Gil Hodges.
So that was a new ad, right? They kind of, even after they call the play-by-play as it happens, it looks like they give an accounting of that play. So I'm going to leave that play synopsis on and see how that operates. I haven't tested a lot of these out. Pinch runner, inning recap. Maybe we'll put the inning recap on here. We'll really milk this narrator today and see. Put it on post game, see what that does too.
The first baseman, Hodges, steps in. Furlow is up next if he reaches safely. Runner on first. Nooks Hall with a 2-1. Hodges drives it deep to center. Back goes Bell. He's waiting. And makes the catch on the track to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1 complete. Cincinnati 0, Brooklyn 0. Hodges fly to deep center, 3 out. No runs, no hits, no errors, Cincinnati 0, Brooklyn 0. Left fielder, number 20, Frank Robinson.
Seems some of that's kind of redundant, so I'll leave it on full play-by-play, maybe turn these 2 off. I think that's what it's set at normally. And again, you can make them talk faster, right? We could slow them way down. I've got them right about here. We'll try it like 1 speed a little bit faster. The one thing I'm really happy with is that the game does a good job of incorporating the play-by-play narrator call in the video, because this one thing baseball for Windows, it's not having to match up the video, so this can be a little bit tricky, right? I like to play with the video chalkboard on. We could choose to turn it off and just use the narrator, but I just love the video chalkboard in action. So I'm really pleased that I can hit pitch here and it looks like it pauses at least somewhat normal to read things at the right time.
Robinson will lead off the inning. Bell is on deck. 1-2 from Carl Erskine. Curveball. Robinson swings. Ground ball down the third baseline. Cox dives to his right. Gathers it in. The throw to first for the first out. Center fielder, number 25, Gus Bell. Now batting, number 25, Gus Bell. Post is on deck. 2-0 count. Bell got a hold of this one.
He sure
Here's
did.
a well-hit fly ball toward right center. Way back. Snyder and Furlow chasing back. Home run. The first home run for Bell. A 362-foot shot. Right fielder, number 28, Wally, post.
Now, one thing I heard out here is it's struggling saying this name right. So one thing you can do is you can go under options and there's edit narrator translations. So what's cool is I can just type in Furillo.
Furlow. Furlow.
And then I can try to get it to say it right. Let's see.
Furilo. Furlow.
Now I'll be trying.
Furlow. Fewer low. Fur I low. Fur I low. Fur ILO. Fur ILO. Fur ILO. Fur ILO.
That sounds better. For ill. Oh, there you go. Let's try that.
Fur ILO.
And then if I like it, I just hit save. Now I won't have to worry about that anymore. So that's a cool thing about it. The first time you get through here, if you see the narrator's a little bit off, it's mispronouncing it, get in there and play with it and get it to say how you want it to sound. And it's very easy to do by just going up to options and hitting edit narrator translations right here while you're in the game is what I like. You can also go in at the main screen under like organize custom sounds or whatever if you're just not in a game and wanted to look at how, what players sound like. But to me, it's nice to be able to have access while you're playing.
Post comes up against Erskine. The 2-2. Post swings. And misses. Erskine gets the punch out. Designated hitter, number 15, George Crow. Crow at the plate. The count is even, 2-2. Fastball. Crow rips a line drive to right center. Very well hit. Toward the gap. That will be extra bases. All the way to the wall. Crow rounds second. The ball is rattling around out there.
Uh-oh.
He'll try for 3.
Got us triple coming.
Furil fires to Reese. Here comes the throw from Reese. Crow dives in. Safe. Triple. Catcher, number 6, Ed Bailey. Bailey steps in against Oysk. Runner on third. Erskine gets the sign. 0-1 from Carl Erskine. Bailey hits a deep fly to center. Snyder drifting back. On the warning track. Under it. And he puts it away to retire the side. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. After 1.5. Cincinnati 1, Brooklyn 0. Right fielder, number 6, Carl Furillo.
You'll notice that instead of it being the Cincinnati Reds for a period, especially during the 50s, during the Red Scare for sure, they were known as the Red Legs for several years. So in case somebody's looking up at the scoreboard wondering why it doesn't say Reds.
Furillo will lead off the inning. The 0-1 pitch. Furillo lines a single between third and short. Robinson retrieves it and fires it back in. Catcher, number 39, Roy Campanella. Campy now up to bat. Runner on first. The first pitch from Nux Hall. Change up. Roy rips. Line to third. Leaping catch by Hoke.
Oh, web
Designated hitter, number 15, Sandy Amros.
The other thing, if you're playing right here, you can see I'm using photos, right? And when you're here, you can set this up at the ballpark screen when you're editing your layout of your ballpark. But within the game, if you want things to be bigger or smaller, you go right up here under options, right up under options and do preferences. And then you can come over here to player displays and change anything you want, right? Like if you want certain labels to show, if you want to use different rectangle borders or round, tons of different options here, okay? The other thing you can do is while you're in this park, you can come up here and hit display, and it's got park layout. And when you come to park layout, you can do some automatic things, right? You can take the main batter and pitcher photos that you see here. Let me make them much larger. See, that makes them very large. I can make those small again, right? Can make them much smaller. See, you could barely see them. So you have, depending on your image, you might want to move some of these little boxes around where you're seeing the pitcher information displayed, your selection boxes down here, play-by-play, and photos. And this is a nice way to just hit display and go to park layout and see if the pictures are in your way. I like mine. I think I'm going to leave them on just larger. I think is good here. But you could do the same thing for player photos. Come right over here and hit park layout. And we could make those photos bigger too. So I'll leave them up a little bigger. But
Amros steps in against Nux Hall. Runner on first. The 2-0 pitch. Slow roller between first and second. Temple goes to his left. Fields it. His only play is to first. Out. Furil goes to second. Left fielder, number 48, Andy Pavko. The left fielder, Pavko, steps in. Runner on second. Nux Hall with a 3-2. Change up. Missed down and in.
good. Looks like I've
Ball
got
4.
a couple runners on now.
Third
And
baseman, number 3, Billy Cox.
for anybody not knowing, I'm controlling the Brooklyn team. I've got the computer managing the Reds, and we're here testing out some of the features, specifically the narrator, letting the narrator call the play-by-play. You can see over here with the outcome box, I've gone in here and set this under the rules to have it display the run percentages right from the first inning. I mean, you can have that never show up or whatever you wanted to do. And again, if you just click on the box, you can change that back and forth from showing averages and slugging percentages. And then if you keep clicking it, it'll toggle back and forth between this view and that one. I kind of like this one that gives you the percentage of hits and different types of hits and walks and strikeouts. All right, I got Billy Cox up. Let's see what he can do.
Cox against Nux Hall. Men on first and second. 0 balls, 2 strikes.
Right.
Cox lines a single between third and short. Pavko to second. Furil rounds third.
Do I send him home? I got a safe chance of 99%. Yes.
Furil is going for home. There won't be a throw from Robinson. Furil scores. Single.
All right, so tied it up. That's a good sign. 2 out here in the bottom of the second.
Reese to face Nux Hall. First and second occupied. The first pitch to Reese. Cutter. Reese hits a grounder back up the middle. McMillan to his left. Fields it. To second. 3 down. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. After 2. Cincinnati 1, Brooklyn 1. Shortstop, number 11, Roy McMillan.
I'm also seeing something over at the park layout. You can see my markers are a little bit off. I'm just going to bring these markers in here for the top and bottom of the fence a little bit so that this is just throwing me off anyway when I hit it, that the distance marker was outside of the fair territory. So
McMillan
nice
will
that you
lead
can
off
change
the inning. Erskine has the sign. The 0-2 pitch. Inside corner. McMillan goes down looking. 1 away. Temple digs in against Oysk. Carl is ready. 1 ball, 0 strikes. Temple hits a fly ball to center. Snyder is under it. And he makes the catch for the out.
Arnold's asking if I ever play pitch by pitch mode. Yes, I do, and I've just forgot to go into that mode here. I'll start messing around with that when we get some runners on base. I was intending to do that in this game, kind of to show the nuance of how it changes things up when you've got a runner, real tight situation. You can also, if you're setting up a league and doing any league play, you can also set up, I think, in the rules section as well, to go in there and have it switch automatically. But if you're in a game, you can always come right down here and go at bat mode and then toggle it right back over to pitch mode.
Hoke to the plate. Erskine with the first pitch. Hoke swings. It's a roller down the first baseline. Foul.
Ball.
So you can see it's telling us we're still in pitch mode. And I think if you go into pitch mode here, let's try it out.
Oh,
Let's see
one
if
count.
if it
Erskine
switches
kicks and
up
deals.
each batter.
Cut on and missed. Strike 2.
Right, so we got 2 strikes.
Erskine gets the sign from Campanella. Erskine with the 0-2. Breaking ball. Ball down. Ball 1. Erskine with a 1-2. Split finger. Hoke goes after it. He got a piece of it. Campanella hung on. Hoke swung way too early. Retiring the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2.5. Cincinnati 1, Brooklyn 1.
It extends a game quite a bit, right? If you go to hit by or pitch by pitch mode. But it is really fun if you've got a situation where the count really matters and you've got base runners and that. But for sake of time, I find myself just doing at bat mode.
Robinson will lead off the inning. Nooks Hall has the sign. 1-2 count. Fly ball to right center and deep. Bell drifts to his left. Going back. Waiting for it. And he makes the catch for the out. Now batting, number 4. The center fielder, Snyder steps in. The 1-2. Snyder hits a deep fly towards right. Post drifting back. He's under it. And he puts it away for the out.
Does seem though that maybe it's my settings. Maybe I can check with this. Did it? Oh, Sports Time Machine saying you have a very deep and incredible announcer. Is that new to the 2023 game? It's new to my 2023 game, Sports Time Machine, because what I did is I'm using Microsoft Richard, the Canadian English voice, and I had to go to the Action PC forums to figure out how to get these voices you download from Microsoft to actually be available for your desktop for apps that are on your desktop like Action to use. And there's a link on the forum that somebody had posted with a bunch of detailed instructions on how you accomplish that by using your registry editor in Microsoft. So I spent about 45 minutes one day and got it to finally work, paying painstaking attention to how I needed to export things and copy and change names and different things in the registry editor. And now I have, I think, Microsoft Mark and Richard are other voices I can use. And for me, this has been the best one, this Richard one that I have right now. And then I've played with some of the pitch settings under Windows to make him like just a little bit deeper voice. So anyway, this is the best I've been able to get the announcing or the narrator to sound in the game. So I'm kind of pleased with this so far.
The first baseman, Hodges, steps in. The 2-0 pitch. Hodges hits a grounder between third and short. Hoke heads to his left. Fields it. Lots of time. To Klazowski at first to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3 complete. Cincinnati 1, Brooklyn 1.
Yeah, Sports Time Machine saying he was hoping for, he was hoping for Ernie Harwell. Yeah, that's the big dream that we all have for that, for sure.
Klazowski will start the inning. Erskine with a 1-2.
Oh, big clue. I think
Kluszewski hits a deep fly ball down the right field line. Way back. Furillo racing back. Off the wall. And the ball gets past Furillo. Kluszewski will end up at third.
Kluszewski with the three-bagger, man. Nice seeing that one bounce off the wall. I was noticing, if you see the sync between the narration and the video, looks really good on the infield plays. I had noticed it seems like the ball gets out to the outfield, and then the play-by-play catches up. So there might be just a little bit of a lag there. But overall, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with what I'm hearing and seeing so far. And that might be me slowing down under preferences my video, right? I've got my video speed on the chalkboard set up pretty fast, so I could even maybe bring it down just a hair and see if what that does on the fly balls to the outfield. All right, well, I've got no out here because I am controlling the Dodgers, so let's see what I'm going to do here. I think I am going to bring that infield in.
The left fielder, Robinson, steps in. Bell is on deck. Runner on third. Infield is in. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And it doesn't matter. Oh, no. Say it isn't so.
Robinson rips a deep fly ball toward left center. Way back. It might go. Snyder at the track. At the wall. Home run.
Yeah, Frank Robinson laughed
That's his
at me
first
bringing
home
the
run on the
infield
year.
in.
That one measured 425 feet.
Well, that's 2 home runs Erskine's given up today.
Bell steps in against Erskine. Bell hit a solo home run off Erskine his last trip. Erskine stares in. 0-2 count. Bell swings. He rips a line drive to right. But hit right to Furillo. And makes the catch. Bell rolled an ankle. He shook it off.
Oh, he's staying in the game. Got a sore ankle.
The right fielder, Post, steps in. Post struck out in the second. Base is empty. 0-2 count. Curveball. Post hits a line drive out to left. And Pafko will make the catch.
I'm determined. Let me get that video speed down. Maybe put it on. See if we can really get it synced up.
Crow steps in against Erskine. Bailey is on deck if he can get on. 1-1 count. Crow hits a fly ball towards left center. Snyder moves to his right. He's under it. And he makes the grab for out number 3. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. After 3.5. Cincinnati 3, Brooklyn 1.
So yeah, it doesn't seem like speeding this up. Sometimes just the way it's set up, the ball might get out to the fielder right first, and then they start describing the ball that's hit there. I didn't see this changing too much, so I'm going to go up to a little bit faster video. I like the video just personally to be a little bit quicker. Right about there is good.
Furillo will lead off the inning. Furillo singled and scored his last trip. The 0-2 pitch. Furillo swings. Deep fly ball to left. Robinson drifting back. He's under it. And he puts it away for the out. Campanella digs in against Nux Hall. 0-2 count. Campanella cuts. Grounded along the third baseline. Hoke heads to his right. Backhands it behind the bag. Fires to first to retire Campanella.
Be nice to get some of these runs back here. Get
Amross
some
comes
base
up against
runners.
Nux Hall. The 0-2 offering from Nux Hall. Amross hits a deep fly down the right field line. Post racing back. He gets under it. And he makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 4 complete. Cincinnati 3, Brooklyn 1.
All right, let's try what Random Newman is saying right here.
Nux Hall.
See what they say.
Nux Hall. Nuxall. Nuxall.
Hey, I'll take it. Sounds a little bit better.
Bailey will bat first this inning. 3-0 from Erskine. In the dirt. Bailey lays off the pitch. That will be ball 4. Campanella is displeased with that call.
Just don't get thrown out, Roy. Don't want to lose you over balls and strikes.
McMillan steps in against Erskine. Runner on first. Erskine stares in. 0-1 count. McMillan hits a frozen rope to center. But hit right at Snyder. And catches it. Temple faces Erskine. Hoke is up next. Runner on first. The 2-0 pitch. Temple hits a liner down the third baseline. Fair ball. That will be extra bases. Down in the corner.
Uh-oh.
Bailey rounds third. He's going for home.
Yeah, I'm going to throw home.
Pafko's throw. Reese with the relay. Bailey slides for the plate. Campanella tags him. Waiting for the dust to clear. Safe. Temple rounds second. And holds.
All right. Down 3.
Hoke steps in against Erskine. Klazuski is on deck. Runner on second. Erskine gets the sign from Campanella. The 2-2 pitch. Hoke swings. High fly. Deep to left center. Get up, get up, get out of here. Snyder chasing back. At the wall. Home run.
I think Erskine has
That's
seen
Hoke's first home run.
better days here.
A 372-foot shot.
These Cincinnati bats have really been on fire. I think that's their 3rd home run so far.
The first baseman, Klazuski, steps in. Klazuski doubled and scored in the 4th. Base is empty. 3-1 from Carl Erskine.
Forever
High and
remain
outside,
Nyman.
barely.
Forever remain 90. Hey, how's it going?
Ball 4.
Al, Red Sox fans joined us. Oh yeah, Al. This is one of the. I don't even know where I've acquired, like I said, on ballparks. I need to categorize my ballparks. I just have so many, and like kind of get them named and labeled and all that. But this is one of the better Ebbets that I don't know where I came up with this one, but this is a nice one. Al, we're testing out the narrator.
Campanella to the mound. Robinson steps in against Erskine. Robinson blasted a 425-foot 2-run homer off Erskine loss. Runner on first. Erskine with the 0-2. Robinson popped it up.
Testing out the narrator, Al, because I don't have the energy like you and Beatles do, and Ron Juckett and Dave Gardner calling games.
To short. Way up in the air. Reese has got it measured. And Reese will make the catch.
Midlife crisis, how's it going? All right, so I'm controlling the Dodgers, so I've got some work to do to get back into this one here.
The center fielder, Bell, steps in. Man on first. Erskine with a 2-2. Bell hits a grounder between first and second. Hodges dives to his right. Fields it. He throws to Erskine covering. Got him. To retire Bell. 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 4.5. Cincinnati 6, Brooklyn 1.
All right, now it's time to get some bats going. I don't know why, I just went over to that screen here, but let's see what I got here.
Pafko
Need
will
some
lead off
runners.
the inning. Pafko drew a base on balls in the second. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nuxall offers. Pafko goes after it. He lines a base hit between third and short. Robinson fires it back in.
All right.
Cox digs in against Nuxall. Cox knocked in a run with a single in the second. Runner on first. 2-2 count. Swung on and missed. He was well in front of that pitch. 1 down.
Come on, Pee Wee.
The shortstop, Reese, steps in. Reese grounded to short in the second. Runner on first. 0-1 count. Here's the offering from Nuxall. Reese cuts. Hard grounder between third and short. McMillan dives to his right. Fields it. Could be 2. He throws to second for 1. Throws to first. Double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 5 complete. Cincinnati 6, Brooklyn 1.
All right, let's see. Erskine's he's up to 102 pitches here. Let me see
Post
if I
will
can
start the inning.
get a
Post
couple
struck
outs
out
with
in the
him.
second. And lined out to left in the fourth. 3-1 from Erskine. Ball.
All right, I'm not already not liking this.
Erskine issues the base on balls.
Erskine has not had a good day today. I can see.
Crow steps in
Gamble.
against Erskine. Runner on
Let's
first.
get a double play.
The 3-2 pitch. Up and tight. Ball 4.
And just like that, great managerial move,
Post
Steve.
is
So
second.
we got Mr. Bailey coming up. So here's what we'll do. Let's go take a look at that Preacher Row. He's got 1 relief appearance. There we go. Let's bring in a guy that can get some innings eaten up, that has some relief appearances.
Johnny Padres is now pitching for Brooklyn. Pitching for Brooklyn, Johnny Padres. Bailey steps in against Padres. Runners on first and second. The 0-2 pitch. Bailey swings.
Catch it, please.
He hits a fly ball towards right. Furillo is under it. And makes the catch. Post holds up at second. The shortstop, McMillan, steps in. Temple is on deck. Men on first and second. 0-1 count. Here's the delivery. Curveball.
Let's get 2.
McMillan hits a ground ball between third and short. Diving stop by Reese. Double play ball. To second for 1. On to first. Call it 2. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5.5. Cincinnati 6, Brooklyn 1.
All right, thank you, Pee Wee and Jackie Robinson for that. Speaking of Jackie Robinson, let's see if
Robinson
we
will
get
start
some
the inning.
hits.
Nuxall with a 1-1.
Thank you.
Line toward right center. Bell and Post going for it. That will be extra bases. Jackie is in with a stand-up double.
Good, that's the way I like to start off the inning. So let's see if we can get some runs back.
The Silver Fox digs in against Nuxall. Lefty against lefty. Snyder flied out to right in the third. Hodges is in the on-deck circle. Runner on second. The 0-1 pitch.
Keep going.
Deep fly ball to Bell. Going back. He's under it. And makes the catch. Robinson is going to third. The throw from Bell.
Maybe I can bait him into a bad throw.
Robinson dives into third. Hoke with the tag. Safe. Hodges digs in against Nuxall. Hodges grounded to third his last trip. Runner on third. Nuxall with the first pitch. Hodges swings. He hits a grounder down the third baseline. Hope goes to his right. Has it. Robinson is going for home. Hope throws to first for the out. Robinson scores.
Well, we got 1 run back, so it's making me feel pretty good here. And welcome, Henry. We've got Henry that's joined us. It says, hello, thanks for all your videos and season this. Is there a way to change the overall font on the game? I don't know if there's a way to overall, like throughout the game. I do know on the roster screens you can do it. I know on some of the box score things you can do it. I believe with the play-by-play, we could come over here. If you can see my play-by-play screen here, I can I could change this. So it's going to show me how big it would be, right? I can change the font right here size-wise. But I don't know of any way to change it overall. But definitely something I can explore. Box score and report. Here you can come in and start looking at some of the highlighted color and different things that you can do here. But I have to be honest, I haven't really messed around with font. Even now that you can go into your roster screens and do it. Can one speed up the narrator so the plays develop more quickly? You can. Let's do it. We can go over. We can do 2 things. We can put the video on fast over here. We can make it a little bit quicker here. I'll get it up what I consider, really quick video. Okay. And then the narrator voice speed, you can speed up a little bit. See what that sounds like.
Furil O steps in. 2-0 from Joe Nuxall. Furil O popped it up to short.
And sometimes, even if it's on fast, there's high
McMillan calls for
pop-ups
it.
in the
He
video
camps under it.
in the
And he
infield
puts
like
it away
this.
for the out. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. After 6 complete. Cincinnati 6, Brooklyn 2. Temple will lead off the inning. Temple drove in a run with a double and scored in the 5th. The 0-1 pitch. Temple hits a blooper toward left center. Snyder hustling in. It's a hit. Temple takes a look at second. He's trying for 2. The throw from Snyder. It'll be close. Safe.
Now, what I will tell you, Henry, that I have noticed is if I have the narrator and the play-by-play, even though I may have the play or the video fast, there's certain spots where it pauses and waits for the narrator to catch up, just like we saw there. If I took the narrator off, then it's just me, clicking the button. That way would go the video would be much faster. But there's set ways that it's set up to stop and allow the play-by-play to catch up.
Hoke at the plate. Hoke fly to center in the 1st. Struck out in the 3rd. And hit a 2-run homer off Erskine last at bat. Runner on 2nd. The 1st pitch to Hoke. Fastball. Hoke swings. He hits a shallow fly ball to right center. It's sinking. Snyder and Furillo coming in. And Snyder makes the catch. Temple holds up at second. Klazuski comes up against Padres. Klazuski grounded out to first in the 1st. Doubled and scored in the 4th. And walked in the 5th. Runner on 2nd. Padres gets the sign from Campanella. The 1-2 from Padres. Klazuski swings. And misses. And Klazuski is out of here.
See if we
The
can
left
get this
fielder, Robinson, steps in.
blast out here.
Bell is up next if he reaches base. Man on 2nd. Padres toes the rubber. 3-2 count. Split finger.
Uh-oh. I get a bad feeling when I see those balls
Robinson
going to the
drives
outfield.
it deep towards left center. Pafko and Snyder going back. Pafko has got it measured. And he makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 6.5. Cincinnati 6, Brooklyn 2.
All right, just had to tend to another message here during the 7th inning stretch, so see if we can get some
Campy will lead
runs.
off the inning. Let's get something started, Roy. The 0-2 pitch. Campanella swings. Shallow fly ball to Robinson. He gets under it. And makes the catch to retire Campanella. Amorós digs in against Nuxall. Lefty against lefty. Nuxall gets the sign. He shakes that one off. Now he's got one he likes. The 2-2 pitch. Slapped on the ground back to the mound. Fielded by Nuxall. Throws to first to retire Amorós. Now batting, number 48. Andy Pafko. Pafko walked in the 2nd. Cox is on deck if he gets on. Nuxall gets the sign from Bailey. The 3-2 offering from Nuxall.
Ball
High and
four.
inside. Free pass.
All right, runner on 2 out.
Cox steps in against Nuxall. Runner on first. The 1-1 pitch. Cox hits a ground ball between first and second. That's a base hit. Pavko to second. He's going for third. There won't be a throw from post. Pavko goes to third. And Cox is on with a single.
Come on, Pee Wee.
Reese steps in against Nuxall. Runners on first and third. 0-1 count. Grounded to McMillan at short. He throws to first. For the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We've played 7. Cincinnati 6, Brooklyn 2. Bell will lead off the inning. First offering from Padres. Bell swings. He hits a frozen rope to left. And Pavko makes the catch. Post to face Padres. 1-0 count. Post cuts. Sharp ground ball along the third baseline. Cox goes to his right. He fields it. Throws to first and post is retired. Ray Jablonski is now batting for Cincinnati.
Oh,
Pinch
they're pinch
hitting for
hitting.
Cincinnati, number 12.
Computer's
Ray
bringing a
Jablonski.
righty in against Padres. Let's see what that does to this box. Oh, yeah, he's got a 26.8% hit chance. Still got Bailey. Now, sticking with Padres right now.
Jablonski will pinch hit. The 0-1 pitch. Jablonski cuts. Deep fly ball towards right center. Snyder and Furillo going back. Snyder is under it. And he makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 7.5. Cincinnati 6, Brooklyn 2.
All right, let's get some runs. Forever remain 90. Do you have any data on how much more double plays you'll get when you play infield halfway instead of normal? No, that's a good. There has to be data out there in the sabermetric world, right? Like at Fangraphs or somewhere. But that would be interesting to know, like what you're going to give up, right, on the halfway. See if I can get
Robinson will
Nuxall
lead
out of
off
here.
the inning. Let's go, Jackie. Robinson doubled and scored last at bat. The first pitch to Robinson. He swings.
That's a way to
He
start.
smashes a base hit between third and short. Robinson tosses it back to the infield.
Snyder's a lefty. You hate to pinch hit for Snyder, but it's nice to see what righties I've got. I've got a few.
Snyder to the plate. Man on first. Nuxall looks to first. The 1-2 pitch.
Keep going.
Fly towards right. Easy fly ball. Post is under it. And he makes the catch. Robinson holds up at first. Hodges now up at the plate. Man on first.
Home run would be nice.
The 1-0 offering from Nuxall.
Oh, a base hit will work.
Gill lines a base hit up the middle. Robinson around second. And moves to third. Bell fires it back in.
Okay, we got Furillo up, got a man on first and third. And so far, I've got to say, I've been letting the play-by-play narrator here for action, the Microsoft voice I'm using, which is Richard, the Canadian English one, carry the play-by-play here. And so far, this is the happiest I've been with any of the settings I've used. So
Furrill now up at the plate. Runners on first and third. Nuxall with the 0-1. Furrill swings. Lined up the middle. And Temple will make the catch.
all right, boy. What do I got? I got a 6.8% chance for a home run, 36.2% chance that I can score some runs. So
Campanella digs it against Nuxall. Runners on first and third. Nuxall has the sign. The 2-1 pitch. Campanella rips. High hopper through the middle. McMillan to his left. Plays it. He'll have to hurry. Throws to first. Not in time. Robinson scores. Hodges goes to second. Campanella has himself a hit.
I wouldn't have guessed that would have been the outcome, but hey, he legged it out thanks to a poor play by a 10-range shortstop, Roy McMillan. Let's see who I've got on the righty side of things. Oh, I've got Dick Williams there. Oh. Let's do that. I'm going to bring... Actually, no. I'm going to bring in Jim Gilliam.
Gilliam is now batting for Brooklyn. Pinch hitting for Brooklyn, number 19, Jim Gilliam. Gilliam will pinch hit. Men on first and second. Nuxall gets the sign from Bailey. 1-1 count. Gilliam hits a blooper towards left center.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice,
It's a
nice.
hit. Campanella to second. Hodges rounds third. Hodges is heading home. There won't be a throw from Robinson. Hodges scores. Single.
Yeah, for Ever Remain 90, I'm agreeing with you. So I feel like the settings are good. I can enjoy the narrator, right? It's not Ernie Hartwell. It's not Mel Allen. It's not Vin Scully. But it's good for what's available right here. And again, my next thing is to look at the neural voices that Windows 11 has on their beta and start, getting even a more realistic sound. But it's still not an actual known announcer, right? I mean, I just don't think that's coming again anytime soon. So to me, then the next thing is, could you get at least a voice that sounds realistic, knowing that we're probably not going to have Vin Scully or well, we know we're not going to have Vin Scully or Ernie Harwell or a real announcer voice coming anytime soon.
Pavko now batting. First and second occupied. Nuxall with a 2-2. Here's a well-hit fly ball to right center. Bell moves to his left. Going back. He's under it. And he makes the grab for out number 3. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. After 8 complete. Cincinnati 6, Brooklyn 4.
Yeah. Well, Ron is, I always say Ron is the closest thing to Vin Scully, because Ron, you can tell Vin Scully's a huge influence on just how Ron articulates the words and his cadence and everything. Definitely sounds like Vin Scully. And I will tell you, I saw earlier that some people like this Ebbets Field. This is my favorite Ebbets Field I have. I have several. But if you want to shoot me an email at state21, STATE 21, at Comcast.net, I'll be more than happy to drop the image in there and send whoever would like it this Ebbets Field or a few of the other Ebbets I have. But this is by far my favorite one.
Bailey will lead off the inning. Bailey flied to center in the second. Walked and scored in the 5th. And flied out to right in the 6th. Padres gets the sign from Campanella. 3-2 count. Low and just inside. And Padres issues the walk. Chuck Harmon is the new runner at first.
So we got Harmon over at first. It's an 8-run. Let's see, I've got some righties coming up. Let's see who I've got. Let me see.
Joe Black
Bring
is
in
now
Joe
pitching
Black.
for Brooklyn. Pitching for Brooklyn, number 49, Joe Black. McMillan steps in against Black. McMillan struck out in the 3rd. Lined to center in the 5th. And grounded into a double play in the 6th. Temple is on deck. Runner on first. 2-1 count. McMillan hits a grounder along the 3rd baseline. Picked up by Cox.
Attempt a risky out chance.
Cox won't make a throw. Harmon to second. McMillan with an infield single.
Forever, I do have a media, what is it, media fire thing where I can drop some of those. I could put some ballpark images, but it's kind of hard for me to know who likes what. I've acquired so many and just dumped them into my ballpark folder. I need to really go kind of sort them out. Because I don't know what my best ones might be. A lot of them I get just off the community and different downloads. I've gone around hunting for different pictures myself, so it's hard for me to kind of know where I got them from. It's kind of hard for me to know which ones of mine might be the best that you all don't have. So
Temple steps in against Black.
All right, let's get
Temple struck out in the 1st. Fly to center in the 3rd. Drove in a run with a double and scored in the 5th. And doubled in the 7th. Temple is a good bunter. Runners on first and second. Temple squares. Bunted on the ground. Towards the mound. Black fields it. His only play is to first. He throws to first. Out. Harmon goes to 3rd. McMillan moves to 2nd. Hope comes up against Black. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. The 3-1 pitch.
Yeah, I was sleeping on that managerial decision on the last one.
Hope drives it deep toward right center. Snyder goes back. On the track. Waiting for it. And he makes the catch. Harmon is going for home. Snyder won't even bother throwing. Harmon scores. Klazuski comes up against Black.
Pitch around him.
Runner on 2nd. Black toes the rubber. He shakes him off. Now he's got one he likes. 3 balls, 0 strikes.
Ball
High and
four.
inside.
Take your base.
Klazuski was taking all the way. He walked him on 4 pitches. Robinson has a chance to put this one out of reach. Robinson grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd. Blasted a 425-foot 2-run homer off Erskine in the 4th. Popped it short in the 5th. And fly to left in the 7th. Runners on 1st and 2nd. The 1-2 pitch. Robinson hits a deep fly ball down the left field line. Pafko backing up. He camps under it. And makes the catch to retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. After 8.5. Cincinnati 7, Brooklyn 4.
And here it comes, my last chance, right? So down 3.
Cox will lead off the inning. 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Cox swings. He got a piece of it. Foul
Fouled him.
ball. The 3-2 offering from Nuxall.
Ball
High.
four.
Ball 4.
Ooh, he had a 0-2 count, worked his way back to a walk. That's a nice
Burgess
way to
didn't
start
like that
off.
call. Reese steps in. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Runner on first. Nuxall stares in. 2-1 count. Here's the delivery. Sharply hit grounder to Hoke at third. He muffed it. Reese is safe. Hoke will be charged with an error.
All right, so we got 2 on. Down 3. Got the tying run at the plate.
Robinson now batting. Robinson flied to left in the first. Flied out to center in the third. Doubled and scored in the 6th. And singled and scored in the 8th. Runners on first and second. The first pitch to Robinson. He rips.
Get out of here.
High fly.
Guess not.
Deep down the left field line. Robinson backpedaling. On the warning track. He's under it. And he makes the catch.
50% chance to take third.
Cox
No,
holds
we'll
up at
stay
second.
right there, and let's hope for a long ball. Who have I got coming up? I got Snyder.
Snyder now batting. Runners on first and second. Nuxall gets the sign from Burgess. Nuxall with a 1-0. Snyder hits a grounder between first and second. Temple goes to his left. Fields it. His only play is to first. Out. Cox goes to third. Reese goes to second.
Yeah, it is nice. So when I choose to hit, it's probably going to tell us like this recap. You can kind of, anybody doesn't know, it is really convenient. Sometimes I even forget it's there. You come right over here and just click on the right where it says Gil Hodges, and it'll pull up everything he's done so far in the game. But had a single last time. I sure could use it. I got a 2.5% chance for a home run. 29% chance for a hit. I tell you what, I'll take a hit.
Hodges comes up against Nuxall. Hodges singled and scored in the 8th. Runners on second and third. 1-1 count. Hodges swings.
Oh, nice.
He lines a single between first and second.
There's life.
Cox scores. Reese rounds third. He's heading for home. The throw comes from post.
No, we're not going to make that last
Safe.
out there.
Reese scores easily.
Well, man, I've made it exciting here. A little comeback. So, see what we're looking at right here. Man, they've got Nuxall in here. Well, his estimated pitch count he could go is right up around 150, right? But, hey, we're playing in 1950s baseball here. They're sticking with him. I guess he really wants this win. And I like my chances with Furillo up. I don't have any better options. We can look at the bench. But maybe I've got Rube Walker, who must have a good average. Yeah, he's got a good average against lefties. And Nuxall probably is. Let's see how Nuxall is. Over here. I'm going to go with Furillo. But you know what I might want to do is get a better runner here. Put in Don Zimmer. Hard to believe Don Zimmer was a 7-speed at one point in his life. I just remember him as a manager for the Red Sox, but
Don Zimmer is the new runner at first. Burgess out to chat with Nuxall. Furillo now at the plate. Runner on first. Nuxall is ready. 3-1 count. Missed high. Ball 4. Zimmer to second.
And it's still
5
not
bases
over.
on balls on the day.
So we got coming. Oh, Roy Campanella. Time to do some damage.
Campanella steps in against Nuxall. He can win it with a homer. Men on first and second. 1-2 count. Campanella popped it up to third.
Oh. What's the chances he drops this? Keeps me alive. The drama.
This should finish it. Hoke is under it. And Hoke makes the catch. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error. That's all from Ebbets Field. Cincinnati 7, Brooklyn 6.
Hey, that was I'm glad I had a little bit of comeback, made it exciting near the end, but
The final score from Ebbets Field, Cincinnati 7, Brooklyn 6. Joe Nuxall is the winner, Carl Erskine is the loser, Gus Bell hit home run number 1 on the season, Don Hope hit number 1, Frank Robinson hit number 1, time of the game, 3 hours, 6 minutes.
yeah, quite a fun game to play. Again, I was really. Oh, let me show out the markers after the game here. Always unsure about. I'll show you how to do that. So let's go into ballpark, hit layouts, and let's get a pretty good size here. And let's go take a look at how many Ebbets Fields I have. I'm trying to think which Ebbets this one was. Here's all the Ebbets I have. Got some that are a little bit different ones that aren't as nice, older, little grainy ones. And I don't know where I got this one, but this is where it's at. So this is how it's set up. So you can always go if I won't do it here because I got them set up. But if they're when you do a layout for the first time, like let's say we pick, let's find one we haven't done. So this might be one right here where you go reset labels, and it'll move them around, and it'll at least try to get them in a good starting point for you, right? But if you can see where I've got them, this is how I set them up, right? I put them to show the top and bottom of the fences. And halfway in between here is where the distance markers will show. So if you saw when we were playing the game, the distance to right field, if it's like 295 or whatever down here would show here, and then they would have a right center field. So the numbers will appear out on your display here, right in between the two of those. I set my bases just like that. I put the right hand, and you can drag these different things. I like to have, I've noticed for whatever reason, I like to have them pretty close right here. So if you have them too far back, it looks a little weird based on how it hits. So I try to have them like right in that box. Sometimes you got to play with them right there. The catcher right up here, or somewhere in this area is pretty good. And then this grandstands, you're just trying to point out where the grandstands will start, right? And sometimes you'll have to put it here because based on your picture, you may not have a full grandstand field, or in some cases, you might even have right and center field where those are showing over here because your picture is a little bit different. So that's how I set my outfield markers. That you can see the fence is high over here. So, if it was shorter, I'd just come over here and drag them and I'd drop them just like that. But since this one in right center is high, set up the fence bottom and the top, and there you go. Hopefully that's helpful. And then hit save. Yeah, again for this one, I'm using my 5-year files. I set up a league. If anytime you ever want to do that, like if you're using my files, anybody out there, um, I didn't like the fact that the announcer when I was playing with it, I would have like on my files Brooklyn, and I've got it abbreviated so I can show the year, and then it's trying to say the numbers, and so I just came up here and set up create a blank league. You can do this at any time, right? Um, and just create whatever folder you want. And that's all I did, created a blank league. brought in a couple, imported a couple teams I was going to play with. You could always play right from the file, but I just thought, yeah, let me do this. I've been working on some newer teams I've got in here. I keep adding to this all the time, but I just got done with the picture pack. Beatles and I are going to have a matchup. We've done the head-to-head, and I think we're one game each, and we're going to do a tribute to the 34 World Series with the Tigers. I'm going to take the Tigers from 34 to 38, and then he's going to take this 31 to 35 St. Louis team. So I got the photo packs done for this team in the last day or so. And I was looking around at different sportsmen's park to set up. So let me pull that up since I had some questions on ballparks. And we can see, let's go to sportsmen. I got sportsmen's. I've got it spelled many different names, but I've got a lot of different ones. I've got here, this is one that's set up based on 1928. I got one here in the 40s. I haven't, you can see I can hit reset the labels, get them in the center, and then I can start setting them up. I haven't moved anything around on some of these. Some black and white pictures here that, I've got this. I don't know why I still have it. I would never play a game on this. It just doesn't look good to me, and see how right field's cut off. So, but I need to go through and like clean some of these that I'll never play with out of my ballpark folder. This is one that I use. This is one that I like of Sportsman that you can see I've got all the markers set up. This is another one of Sportsman. I've got a little bit kind of a different graphical look on this. This one's set up to play. This is another one that's not too bad that I could get the markers set up, but I got quite a few for Sportsman. Sportsman old. Another view. If anybody, put it in chat if anybody wants to see some of the, if there's a park out there that you've been looking to get a good one, I'm more than happy to scroll through here, show you what I've got, and I'm more happy to email this to you or share it with you. Yeah, I'm not sure if I understand correctly forever what you're saying. You can still use your old team abbreviation, just edit, let's say, BRK to be called um, Brooklyn. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'll have to test that. Actually, I could go in there and teach the custom sounds um, for it to call those things Brooklyn. That's probably an easier way than me having to play exhibition games and dragging the teams into a new league. In fact, I'll go check that and see. But let me know if anybody wants to see any of these other parks. I mean, some of the older ones that I've been doing, some of dead ball polo grounds. Okay, let's take a look at all my polo grounds. I've got some good ones if I remember right for polo. Got a lot of. So I've got this polo 2 here. Some of these real images. This one's not bad. I don't know what game this came from. This might come from APBA baseball or Strat or somewhere. I have polo dead ball, so the DB next to it showing like this is more like of a dead ball picture of how it was set up. Another one from another game. Got polo here. I've got some of these that like 1901, 1905 setup that I haven't. I can cut these down and try to zoom in a little bit in an editor that I have. There's another polo grounds where they had like a makeshift fence in there from 05, 1910, 17. There's 1924 set up, 30s, 40s. Here I could hit reset labels, get them a little bit closer. 54. These are all new ones that I've come in here and I haven't really used them in a game yet. This isn't the one that's not too bad right here. I think that comes from High Heat Baseball probably. Another one. I think this is this one right here. Seeing that I've got these markers set up, this is what I've been using for polo grounds. Yeah, Pip's telling me he's got the same ones. I'm that way too. It's like I don't even know where I've gotten them. Over the years, it just somebody will have a pack and I'll download them, and sometimes I'll have two and three of the same one, and I probably need to go through here and clean out a lot of these that I have. Then I was doing some other work where I was making them a little bit bigger, like taking this and making it bigger. I was messing with the pixels, trying to trim it a different way, right? This one's not too bad either. Be nice if the resolution was there. Yeah, get OTP and add in the historical stadiums from the forums, and you can put the camera anywhere. And I've got to tell you that you bring up an interesting thing. So Al, Red Sox fan, I don't know if Al's still on the chat or not. Al had shared with me some of the how to go and get the some of the custom photos out of the park, right? That you could use. Like, look at this one. There's no way I would use this picture I have up right now. I might as well just throw that one away, but I won't. So let me pull up and show you. I've got a download. Let's see. All ballpark models, and it's the models right from out of the park, and all these. So all of this folder, and it's huge. I don't know how many gigs it is. It's big, right? And so you can see based on if you want one from a certain year, these are the ones that are being used, I think, in the historical ones in out of the park. So for example, if we went to Ebbets Field 48 to 57, I can go in here and there'll be a day and a night version, and this may look familiar. This would be those years. Let me drag it over here. Right out of that's coming right out of the park. So they do have some really nice options there. Trying to think some of the other ones here. And I haven't downloaded all of these in. Sometimes if I'm looking for different ones, like I was looking at Crosley the other day, like around this time frame too, for one of the teams. Hey, D. Scott. Um, and you'll see they've got the diagrams. It has all the information you would need for out of the park because it'll even show this. Oh, wait a second. Here it is. Over here, there's a day shot. Okay, and that comes right out of the park. But this ought to look familiar to some, right? The diagram. So yeah, so there's some neat ones in here to go through and look at. I think Candlestick Park. Let's take a look at that. The first version of that in the 60s. Yeah, there it is. Zoom in a little bit better. So yeah, there's tons of parks out there, and adapted DMB images for action. Hey, that's interesting because theirs used to be just pretty much a top down, like a 2D um, look, very similar to this, if I'm not mistaken, Greg. And Greg Lang is here. Nice to see some new people popping in. But yeah, this tons of ballparks out there. I mean, sometimes I get lost if I'm when I'm working on a team here and I'm setting them all up. I want to go and make sure I get the right era specific thing, and I'll look to see if there's any new ballpark packs out there or new photos that I could get or images or whatever it might be, just so that I have the latest. But yeah, it's about time I go through my folder and clean it up because I've got some stuff it needs to be gone through. I have duplicates that just have different numbers at the end and need to clean it up. But no, glad everybody could join today. I'm gonna head off and go get something to eat now. But the reason I fired this up today is Beatles has been really, I think, showing people how well that audio is in Baseball for Windows and having that broadcaster there. And with the narrator, in fact, you know what? I'm going to test the narrator before I go. You're bringing up one good thing. Let me fire up an exhibition game. See who we've got. Let's, I've got a new team I did photos for here. Let's pull up. And I just want to hear how the announcer handles it. Where's that St. Louis team? Right here. Beatles and I are going to feature these two teams at some point, either a game for sure, if not a series. He'll be controlling these Cardinals. So who else have I got in here? Let's see, Pittsburgh. Oh, how about those Phillies right here? Anyway, just pull a couple teams up. So, hey, thanks, Greg. I've got, we'll set it so we're going to play. We got the Microsoft Richard, and then we will go in there and let's computer line up these. Carlton against Dean. Do this. One versus left.
Pitching for STL 1931 to 35, Dizzy, Dean.
So,
Leading off for Phi 1976 to 80, center fielder, number 31, Gary, Maddox.
so you can see the announcer is trying to come up with the abbreviations I've used for my file, right? So let's go to Edit Narrator Translations. And let's see. I think I'd have to type it.
Phil 1976 to 80. Philadelphia.
Oh, I love it. Okay, and then the other one is going to be, what have I got? Gosh, I can't remember what I've got them listed at here. Anyway, we'll see if it makes a difference with the one team.
Welcome to Sportsman's Park. For today's game between Phi 1976 to 80 and STL 1931 to 35. Steve Carlton takes the mound for Phi 1976 to 80. Making his first start of the year. Opposed by Dizzy Dean for STL 1931 to 35. Also making his first start. It's 73 degrees. Wind speed 3 miles per hour. Maddox steps in. Dean with the 0-1. Cutter.
It seems like that.
Maddox hits a line drive hugging the third base line. It's fair. That will be extra bases. In the corner. And the ball gets past Medwick. Maddox will end up at third. First baseman, number 14, Pete Rose.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure that's stuck. So what I got,
STL 1931 to 35. STL 1931 to 35. St. Louis. St. Louis. Rose now batting.
see if we can get that to stick.
Deck. Runner on third. Dean with a 3-2. Breaking ball. Way outside and low.
Question
Base
from
on balls for
forever.
Rose.
Why pinstripe unis are
Designated
always missing
hitter,
some stripes
number
in the
11,
game?
Tim
I don't know.
McCarver.
I don't know if you'd be talking about the uniforms I have displayed up here, um, or on the photo packs, because those will be completely separate, I would think. So I'm assuming maybe you mean the uniforms that I've got selected up here, which are optional to turn on.
McCarver digs in against Dean. Luzinski is in the on-deck circle. Runners on first and third. 0 balls, 2 strikes. McCarver cuts. Easy grounder to second. Frisch fields it. Maddox is going for home. Throws to second for 1. There will be no throw to first. Maddox scores. Left fielder, number 19, Greg Luzinski. Batting fourth, here's Luzinski. Runner on first. 3-0 from Dean.
Ball
Low.
4.
He walked.
I do like the translator, I have to say. This is the happiest I've been setting this up. Now I
Third
just want
baseman, number 20, Mike Schmidt.
Now I just want to
Third
see.
baseman, Schmidt steps in.
Now I just want to see.
Runners on first and second.
This will.
Dean with a first pitch. Schmidt rips. He hits a line drive to third, but hit right to Martin, and makes the catch. Fires to second, and they got McCarver. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. After 1/2 inning. Phi 1976-81, STL 1931-35 coming to bat. Pitching for Phi 1976-80, number 32, Steve Carlton.
Can't get it
Leading off for STL 1931-35, third baseman, Pepper Martin.
Yeah, couldn't get it to stick. So it's something else to experiment around with. So that's why I ended up just creating a blank league and bringing them in. And then once I got them in, I just took the teams up here and just went up modify team and edited the name. And so it could pronounce it the right way. So we didn't have to listen to that gibberish. But yeah, but on my files, I have to label them that way so we can distinguish which are which. So yeah, more experimenting to come. I may dig into something else. Don't know what the next video is going to be. I just kind of wait and see what comes to me with some of these. But hey, hopefully everybody enjoyed it. It ended up being a real close game, and I'm really happy with the announcer. And that's my goal, is still trying to tweak that so that I can figure out how to get that thing to work well. And I really liked how it works in conjunction with the video chalkboard. Because it's one thing to just not have video and then just figure out how fast you want it to read the play-by-play to you, but having it actually take the video, which I love, and pause at certain moments on those infield hits, and then let it catch up and talk and then throw. That's just even better, in my opinion, to have both going. But just my preference. I don't know how many of you play with video off. That's one of the reasons why I just love action. I love the video chalkboard. So if I can add the narrator with it, yeah, that's going to just make it that much better. So more to come. Let me know any thoughts you have or anything you might want to see on an upcoming video, and I'll look at my email. Again, that's state21, STATE 21 at comcast.net. And if anybody wants that picture of Ebbets Field, happy to share it. So until next time, have a good evening.